What Princess Diana told her closest friends about planned accident. Shocking tapes revealed. Princess Diana's life was filled with glamour, but behind the scenes, she lived in fear and isolation. In shocking tapes revealed after her death, Princess Diana made chilling predictions about her fate, including her belief that she would die in a staged car accident. She confided to her closest friends that she felt her life was in constant danger, and even suspected that King Charles was part of a sinister plot against her. Princess Diana described feeling like a prisoner within the royal family. She feared for her children's safety and claimed the royal family controlled the media attacks that painted her as unstable. Princess Diana also spoke of being silenced and erased from history. These shocking tapes show a heartbreaking story of survival, courage, and the risks Princess Diana took. Could her fears have been justified? Number 1. She felt her life was in danger. Princess Diana often told her friends that she believed her life was in serious danger. She felt like she was constantly being watched, with her every move carefully monitored. This wasn't a fear that came and went. It was something she lived with daily. Princess Diana believed she'd become a target because she spoke openly about her struggles within the royal family and her unhappy marriage. She felt that by sharing her truth, she'd upset powerful people who wanted to keep everything quiet. Diana was convinced that her openness made her a threat to the monarchy, and she worried that they wouldn't stop until she was silenced. After her separation from King Charles, these fears became even stronger. She began keeping detailed records of conversations and events, hoping they might help prove her suspicions if something happened to her. It's heartbreaking to think that someone so loved by the public felt so unsafe and had no one she could truly trust. Her fear showed just how isolated and vulnerable she felt in her final years. Number 2. She predicted her own death. One of the most unsettling things about Princess Diana's life is that she predicted how she would die. She told her friends and wrote in private letters that she feared she would be killed in a car crash. Diana even called it a planned accident, saying it would be staged to look like a tragic mistake but would actually be deliberate. She didn't come to this conclusion lightly. Diana had seen how power worked behind the scenes, how people could be silenced if they spoke out, and how the media could be controlled to shape any story. Despite living with this fear, Diana continued to face the public with courage. When she died in a car crash in Paris, it was eerily similar to what she'd feared most. Was it just a terrible coincidence? Or did Diana know something the rest of the world didn't? The fact that her death happened the way she predicted leaves many people wondering if her fears were justified. Number 3. She believed King Charles was behind the plot. Princess Diana suspected that her estranged husband, King Charles, might have been involved in a plot against her. She confided in friends that she thought he wanted her out of the picture so he could move on with his life and be with Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana felt that Charles viewed her as a problem, someone who could harm the royal family's reputation by speaking out about what really happened behind closed doors. These suspicions made her feel even more isolated and betrayed, especially since they involved the father of her 2 sons. Diana's belief wasn't based on solid evidence, but it showed how much she struggled to trust the people closest to her. Whether or not Charles was involved, it's heartbreaking to imagine how lonely and unsupported Diana must have felt to think such a thing. Her suspicions reveal just how deep her pain and fear ran during the years leading up to her tragic death. Number 4. She felt trapped and alone. From the outside, Princess Diana's life seemed like a fairy tale, but in reality, it was far from glamorous. She often said she felt trapped in the royal family, describing it as a life where she couldn't be herself. Every part of her life was controlled: how she could act, what she should say, and even how she should feel. Despite being adored by millions of people, Diana felt completely alone. She told friends that she had very few people she could talk to or trust. When she opened up about her mental health struggles, she felt ignored and unsupported by the people around her. Diana once described her life as being stuck in a gilded cage, a beautiful prison that was suffocating her. This loneliness weighed heavily on her, and she often wondered if anyone would even notice if she disappeared. Her feelings of isolation made her story even more heartbreaking, showing that even the most loved people can feel completely alone. Number 5. She was afraid of the royal family's power. Princess Diana was deeply afraid of how much power the royal family had. She'd seen firsthand how they controlled the media and used it to shape public opinion. Diana believed they were responsible for many of the negative stories that painted her as unstable, using the press to turn people against her. She felt powerless to fight back against this machine. Diana told her friends that if something happened to her, the truth might never come out because the royal family could spin the story to protect themselves. This fear stayed with her until the very end. To the outside world, Diana appeared strong and fearless, but inside she was constantly battling a sense of helplessness. Her fears about the royal family's influence show just how much pressure she was under, and they make her story even more tragic and unforgettable. Number 6. She believed the royal family would stop at nothing. Princess Diana was convinced that the royal family would do whatever it took to protect their image. She believed that their reputation mattered more than anything, even if it meant hurting someone to keep their secrets safe. Diana felt that she was seen as a threat because of her popularity and her willingness to speak the truth. She feared that the family might go as far as trying to discredit her, or even remove her if she didn't stay quiet. These thoughts weren't just passing worries for Diana. They were beliefs that deeply affected her every day. She shared with friends how much this fear weighed on her, making her feel like she was constantly in danger. Diana's concerns highlight the incredible stress she was under and how unsafe she felt, even as one of the most beloved figures in the world. Her story is a reminder of how much she endured while living under such intense scrutiny and fear. Number 7. She felt like she was living in a prison. Princess Diana often described her life within the royal family as a prison. She said it felt like she was constantly being watched and had no freedom to live her life the way she wanted. Every decision, every move, every word she spoke was scrutinized and controlled. Princess Diana told her friends that the royal family operated like a tightly run organization, where there was no room for individuality or emotion. She felt suffocated by the rules and expectations placed on her, and it only got worse after her separation from King Charles. While the world saw her as a princess living a dream life, Princess Diana felt like she was trapped in a nightmare. She longed for a normal life where she could make her own choices, but she feared she would never be free. Number 8. She was afraid for her children's safety. Princess Diana's love for her children, William and Harry, gave her strength during the hardest times. They were her biggest source of happiness, but also her greatest worry. Diana often feared for their safety, feeling that her conflicts with the royal family might put them at risk. She believed the royal family saw her as a threat and that this could have dangerous consequences for her boys. Diana became fiercely protective, refusing to leave their sides whenever possible. She also worried about the influence the royal family might have over William and Harry, fearing they would be forced to live under the same pressure she'd endured. Diana wanted to protect them from the control and expectation she felt had caused her so much pain, but at the same time, she feared she didn't have the power to keep them safe from it all. Her deep love and constant worry for her children showed just how much she cared for them. Number 9. She believed she was being driven to madness. Princess Diana often told friends she felt the royal family was trying to push her to the edge emotionally and mentally. She believed they wanted her to seem unstable so that people wouldn't take her seriously. Diana said the constant criticism, isolation, and manipulation felt like a planned effort to break her spirit. The pressure took a toll on her mental health, leading to moments of deep sadness and despair. At times, she questioned her own strength, wondering if she could keep going. Despite everything, Diana refused to let them define her or destroy her. She fought to stay strong and keep her sense of self, even when she felt overwhelmed. Diana's ability to survive under such difficult circumstances showed her incredible resilience. She knew the odds were against her, but she remained determined to find her voice and tell her truth, no matter how much the royal family tried to silence her. Number 10. She felt like she had no one to trust. Princess Diana often shared that one of her greatest struggles was feeling like she had no one to trust. While the public adored her, she felt isolated in her personal life. Diana believed many of the people around her had hidden agendas or were loyal to the royal family rather than to her. This sense of betrayal deeply hurt her, as even friends she'd once considered allies seemed to turn against her. Within her own household, Diana suspected that some of the staff might report back to the family, which made her feel unsafe even in her own home. She said this lack of trust made her life incredibly lonely, as she was unsure who she could confide in without being judged or betrayed. Despite this, her relationship with her children gave her a sense of stability. Prince William and Prince Harry became the only people she could trust fully. They were her source of love and comfort in an otherwise uncertain world. Number 11. She wanted to live a normal life. Princess Diana dreamed of a life where she could be free from the constraints of the royal family. She longed for the kind of normalcy that most people take for granted. Diana often imagined herself doing simple things, going to the grocery store, driving her children to school, or walking through the park without being followed by cameras or judged by the public. She felt the royal lifestyle didn't align with her true self and often described it as suffocating. The endless rules, formalities, and constant scrutiny left her feeling like a prisoner. Diana was also deeply committed to raising her sons, William and Harry, in a way that was different from her own experiences within the monarchy. She wanted them to have more freedom and to grow up with a sense of normalcy. However, balancing her desire for independence with the demands of the royal family proved incredibly challenging. Number 12. She felt like she was always being watched. Princess Diana described her life as one where every moment was under a microscope. She often said she felt like she had no privacy and was always being watched, both by the public and within the royal family. Every word she spoke, every move she made seemed to be monitored, judged, reported. Diana shared that even in her own home, she didn't feel truly safe. She believed some staff might be spying on her or sharing information with the royal family, which left her feeling paranoid and trapped. The media's relentless attention only made things worse. Paparazzi followed her everywhere, snapping photos of her at every opportunity. Diana found it exhausting to constantly present a polished image while hiding the pain and struggle she felt inside. She once said she couldn't let her guard down as the world was always watching and waiting for her to make a mistake. This constant scrutiny weighed heavily on her, making her feel like she couldn't live her life authentically. Diana longed for a sense of peace, where she could be herself without the pressure of being watched. Number 13. She believed she had to escape. Princess Diana was certain that the only way to truly survive was to escape the royal family's clutches. She told her friends that staying in the system meant losing herself entirely, or worse, losing her life. She longed for a fresh start, away from the constant scrutiny and control. This desire for freedom drove many of her decisions, from her public interviews to her move to take control of her narrative. Princess Diana's dream was to carve out a life where she could focus on her work, her passions, and most importantly, her children. However, even as she made strides towards independence, she knew the royal family wouldn't let her go easily. Princess Diana understood that leaving wasn't just a personal decision. It was an act of rebellion that came with serious risks. Number 14. She was afraid of being silenced. One of Princess Diana's greatest fears was being silenced permanently. She knew that by speaking out, she was putting herself in danger. But at the same time, she felt she had no other choice. Princess Diana believed that staying quiet would allow the royal family to continue controlling her story and erasing her from history. She told friends she feared a situation where her voice would be taken away entirely, whether through manipulation, isolation, or worse. This fear drove her to record her thoughts and share her experiences with trusted confidants, ensuring that even if something happened to her, the truth would come out. Princess Diana's courage in the face of this fear is a testament to her resilience and determination to be heard. Number 15. She believed the royal family would never let her go. Princess Diana was convinced that the royal family would never fully release her from their grip. Even after her separation from King Charles, she felt the institution's influence looming over her every aspect of her life. She believed they saw her as a loose thread that needed to be managed or eliminated. Princess Diana told friends she felt like a prisoner of the monarchy, bound by rules and expectations, even when she was no longer an active member. This sense of entrapment only fueled her desire to break free, but it also made her increasingly wary of the risks involved. She often said that no matter how far she tried to distance herself, the royal family would always find a way to pull her back in. Number 16. She felt like she was living in a nightmare. Princess Diana described her life as a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. On the surface, she was a princess adored by millions. But behind closed doors, she was struggling to cope with the relentless pressure of her role. She felt trapped in a life she hadn't fully chosen and overwhelmed by the constant scrutiny. Princess Diana told friends that her life felt surreal, like she was stuck in a bad dream where she had no control over her own destiny. This sense of helplessness was compounded by the lack of support she felt from those around her. Despite these challenges, Princess Diana's strength and determination to find happiness kept her going, even in the darkest moments. Number 17. She believed she had to protect herself. Princess Diana believed that self-preservation was her only option. She knew she couldn't rely on anyone else to keep her safe, not the royal family, not her staff, and not even the security teams assigned to her. This belief led her to take matters into her own hands. She began documenting her experiences, sharing her fears with trusted friends, and ensuring that her side of the story would be heard. Princess Diana's efforts to protect herself were both practical and symbolic. They represented her refusal to be silenced or controlled. She knew the risks of speaking out, but she also knew that staying quiet would be even more dangerous. Number 18. She felt like she was being erased. One of Princess Diana's deepest fears was being erased from history. She believed the royal family wanted to minimize her influence and ensure she was remembered only on their terms. Princess Diana felt this erasure happening in real time, through media campaigns that painted her as unstable, and through efforts to control her narrative. She told friends she was fighting not just for her legacy, but for her children's understanding of who their mother truly was. Princess Diana wanted to leave behind a record of her truth, ensuring that her story wouldn't be rewritten or forgotten. Her fears of being erased reflect the immense pressure she felt to maintain her identity in a world determined to strip it away. Number 19. She believed she had to fight back. Princess Diana wasn't the type to back down, even in the face of overwhelming odds. She told her friends that fighting back was her only option if she wanted to survive. Whether it was giving her explosive interview on national television or using her public platform to support causes she cared about, Princess Diana made it clear that she wouldn't go quietly. She believed that by speaking out, she could challenge the narrative being constructed around her and protect herself from being silenced. Princess Diana's decision to fight back wasn't just an act of defiance. It was an act of survival. Her courage inspired millions, even as it put her at greater risk. Number 20. She knew she was taking a risk. Princess Diana was fully aware of the risks she was taking by being so outspoken. She knew her actions could provoke powerful people and put her in danger. But despite the fear, Princess Diana felt she had no choice. She believed that staying quiet would be just as dangerous, if not more so. Her decision to speak out, document her thoughts, and share her fears with others was a calculated move to protect herself and her legacy. Princess Diana's awareness of the risks shows how much thought she put into her actions. She wasn't acting impulsively. She was acting out of necessity. Her bravery, even in the face of these risks, is part of what makes her story so unforgettable. And there you have it, the heartbreaking and shocking details Princess Diana shared with her closest friends about what she believed was a planned accident. Her fears, courage, and resilience continue to inspire us decades later. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Princess Diana's fears were justified, or could they have been exaggerated by her circumstances? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We'd love to hear them. If you found this video engaging, don't forget to hit that like button and share with others who might be interested. And subscribe to our channel for more interesting video content like this one. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay curious and take care. Bye!